Okay, welcome to
Elvis
Fan Matter.
Yep. Welcome back. Gonna do a little football talk. Of course, everybody knows, I guess by now, that Elvis, he liked football. One of his favorite teams was the Steelers, and back in the day, we went to see the Los Angeles Rams play, and he was a big football player, football player lover. Jim Brown was one of his favorite players, running back, and of course naturally we had our own football games, and some of them were pretty rough.
Extremely rough.
One of the times I know that we were playing, and guy named I'll think of it in a minute. No, one of the guys was John Bramlett. He was tackle for the Memphis State Tigers back in, and big guy, rough, and he come out and was playing, and he hit this one guy so hard, it just literally almost knocked him out. And of course, that was the way he was used to playing. And of course, we had Elvis did. Him and Red and all called him over and said, "Look, man, don't hit so hard. You hurt that guy, I think, a little bit more than he was us," and so could you tone it down a little bit for us?
He took it serious.
I mean, he did, boy. He hit that boy, and but a lot of crazy things happen. I know when he was telling me about it, I wasn't there during that time, but he played Ricky Nelson. Told Ricky, get up a team, and they'd play. So he said when they got there, said, Red and Sonny, they're some pretty good sized boys, and said, hell, when they got out of them vehicles, these Red and Sonny and them looked like
midgets.
They looked like kids, He had brought half the UCLA football team with him. And he said, naturally, we didn't win. He said, it was pretty rough, man. He said, they knocked us around like we won nothing. But that happened a whole lot. And of course, the heck of it is, most all of them, they wanted to hit Elvis,
Of course.
And so, we had to protect Elvis best we could, Of course, some of them ball players were big old boys. I know one time they was getting to Elvis. Elvis was playing quarterback, and they was getting to him pretty regular. And so these two guys usually, and they would line up on one side, and they would come in, boy, and so this this one time Lance Legault was playing with us, and he was on Elvis's team, and they come in, boy, and from out of nowhere you saw this body. Somehow or another he had thrown his whole body right into those two guys. And he took them out,
Lance Legault was the stunt guy for
Lance Legault
double for Elvis
was
and
double for Elvis in the movie.
And stunts. Real nice guy.
And he was a real likable guy. I know one time this one guy kept hitting Elvis, and he was hitting, rather than playing touch. I mean, he was actually, trying to hit him, and him and Alan got into it, and
Alan Fortas.
They were, they actually wound up in a fist fight, and of course, Alan was like a tank anyway. He wasn't real tall.
Alan played for Vanderbilt, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah, he did. He played for Vanderbilt. I played for Central High School here in Memphis. Red played for Humes, and of course Central and Humes played. And, I know they played against each other. I think in one game, and they talked about that a lot. One time we was out there playing, and this one guy, he was like, oh God, I'd say he's about 6'4", big old tall guy, and long-legged, and man, that sucker, he could cover some distance quick, and of course that done threw him about 2 touchdown passes, and we were getting our butts kicked pretty good. So Elvis, he called me over, he said, look, he said, we got to stop this guy somehow or another. He said, now you're the fastest, out here on our team. He said, is there any way you can slow him down? And I said, I don't think so. I said, I think he might. No, he said, tell you what. He said, what you do? He said, you're faster than he is on the the get-go. He said, naturally he probably will outrun you in the long run. He said, but get in front of him. And he said, and just slow down. He said, don't let him bite you. Just slow down and keep him, and he can't get to the ball. So guy come out, boy, and I mean he was cutting the trail, and I guess I got in front of him, and he'd try to move this way, and I'd just move with him, and believe it or not, slowed him down, and the ball, of course it went over all of our heads and all that, and it made that guy so daggone mad, and Elvis laughed till he couldn't. He said, "Do him that way again."
I thought you were going to say, he said, go up and stomp his feet.
No.
That's what your coach
well.
What's the coach said in high school, just stomp his feet.
But that made him mad, boy, and he didn't like it much at all, but he was very likable guy. I enjoyed the game played, he didn't get that mad, but he knew exactly what was going on. Well, needless to say, we lost the game anyway, so it didn't make any difference. But,
y'all had some pretty good games over by the behind Whitehaven Grammar School in that field by the Y, and also up at Graceland School. I remember going up there when we were just dating.
Yeah, we had a lot of football games there.
That's where I first met Patsy Lacker at one of those games.
But that I know another time too. Billy Fletcher, who played quarterback for Memphis State, and they come out, and he had a couple of Memphis State boys with him, and we were playing them.
Well, that was when y'all played at the Whitehaven High School Stadium, wasn't it?
No, this was at Graceland.
You did play there one time.
Oh yeah,
before
we played
there
on
the Whitehaven High School
we played
field.
Yeah. Anyway, he broke loose. This Billy did around the the end around, and he had a blocker in front of him, a big old guy. So I'd go up, boy, and I'd run him down. I hit him this way and bounce off like a damn fool. I'd try to get in front of him, I'd hit him this way and he'd bounce off like a fool. And kind of get behind him, he'd just slow down and bump me out of the way. And finally I tried just diving over him. Well, that was a mistake, boy. I mean, he trampled on me like I wasn't nothing. And I said, let him go. I couldn't got to him no way. That blocker, man, he was knocking me around. Wasn't no way to get to him. He was so much bigger than I was. But we had a lot of things like that happen, just.
I still have your old jersey that, they had everybody one made.
Mm-hmm.
Those green ones, and you got your name on the back of it, Smith. Yeah. Everybody had one like that. That was on Elvis's team.
Yeah. He had the jerseys made for us. Now he had a touch football team of his own. Of course, a lot of people, I guess, have seen the
pictures of them.
And some of the guys in it, Jimmy Kinkley, I think Sonny, and I don't know who all, Elvis. But we played them too, and once again, we got beat. But we played a pretty fair game against them, and they enjoyed it more because they said, golly, he's no experience. He said, we're a lot bigger than y'all. He said, y'all played a darn good game because they only beat us by 1 touchdown. And but we had a lot of fun, wild games. I know one time we were playing out in Los Angeles, and we were playing some pretty big old boys, well, I guess. I say big old. They were a lot bigger than me. They were big guys to me.
I was going to say big to you.
All of them were big to me. And this one guy played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a pro football player. And God, he's a big old guy. And he kept hitting Elvis. And so Red tried to take him on. And of course, I'm afraid it wasn't that much of a match, and Red was a good ball player and a hard hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so he run up at this guy, this guy called him a name and something, and they got into it. And anyway, Red run up and he was going to knock him, as hard as he hit him, as hard as good. I'm talking about with his fist. Well, he run up there and hell, naturally, he slipped down. Bad mistake. That big dude fell on top of him and locked his arms around him. And of course, Red was doing this, and finally Red would try to get his arm out. And Elvis leaned down and said, "Get your hand loose and gouge him in the eyes." And that guy actually hurt him. He said, "Look, man," he said, I don't want to fight. He said, "If I'm playing too rough," he said, "I'll quit." He said, He said, "I'm sorry that, he said, but I'm not going to let him loose. And not if he,
not if he's going to hit me.
Not if he's going to, gouge me in the eyes, all that kind of stuff." So Red said, "Okay, I've had enough." But that was a big sucker, broad guy. I mean, and of course, he just like I say, now I don't know what had happened if if Red had to slip down, but I'm gonna tell you, boy,
that's like running up.
And Red was kind of like Wile E. Coyote, you just never knew what was going on.
That was his nickname, Wiley. That's what was on the back of Red's bracelet was Wiley.
Wiley,
because he was everything.
But we had a lot of fun.
All the guys just about played. All y'all guys played on. When I would go watch y'all, get up teams and play. Everybody except George Klein. And I don't remember Charlie ever playing.
No.
But George was always afraid because George had a nose job.
Afraid to get hit in the nose.
Afraid to get hit in the nose. That's why he wouldn't play racquetball or anything, because he was protecting that nose job he had back years and years and years ago that Elvis got for him. So.
But we had a lot of fun. Of course, Elvis, he broke his finger one time. His little finger playing. The boy broke loose. He went to Whitehaven. And I went to school with him. And he was a fast dude. And he got around the end, and of course Elvis got in after him. And Elvis wasn't no bad runner. He could run pretty good. And so he was running for him and all that, and he couldn't quite get to him, so he thought he'd dive and and touch him as he did, and when he did, well, he fell wrong and it broke his little finger.
You know, everything that I can remember that Elvis did, y'all and all of us, was rough.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't pull any punches.
No.
Everything was rough, and he was no sissy.
No.
Elvis was.
He liked to play rough.
Yeah, he did.
He
At the
liked to
skating
play
rink
rough.
and everything, he was rough. Golf carts, bump 'em, dodge 'em cars,
Yeah.
everything he did, it was rough. You could either hang with him or go home.
But as I was going, of course, I think I've told it before, but it was a good little story. We got to the hospital and all, and they set his finger for him, and they was gonna put a cast on his arm. Well, they put it all the way up to here, and he said, look, Doc, he said, I don't think that's necessary. Could you cut it down to about right here? He said, and the doctor looked over at him. He said, look, he said, nah, I don't tell you how to sing. So you don't tell me how I should put my cast on. And Elvis looked over at him. He said, yeah, but I'll tell you the difference. He said, you don't have to listen to me sing, but I got to wear your damn cast. But he didn't get it cut out. It was still up there.
Yeah, that reminds me of another person that had to get a cast on. He got his leg hurt when we were in Hawaii, and he had to have a cast put on it. Well, they put Mr. Billy Smith. They put a cast all the way from his foot up to his hip, and his leg started itching. So I heard hammering and a screwdriver he had, and he had the hammer and the screwdriver, and he was knocking holes in that cast. And he would take a clothes hanger and open it up, a wire clothes hanger, and open it up and stick it down in those holes and scratch his leg. And I said, Billy, you got to go to the doctor, and he's going to be mad about that. He said, I don't care. He said, I'm not wearing, he said, I'm going to have this cast with these holes in it, and I mean it. So he went to the
scratch. I said, I got the itch. It's so bad. I can't stand it.
So the next day, a day or two, you had to go, and
Yeah.
he came back home. We lived at Graceland, and he came in the back door, and I said, I heard him because he had a walk on that cast that he could walk in. And I said, well, what did the doctor say? He said, he told me if I punched holes in this one, he was going to put another one on just like it.
He said you could wear it for 6 weeks, or you could wear it indefinitely.
But so that did with Billy and his little scratcher.
Yep. Boy, that was a long 6 weeks. Man, I wanted to scratch so bad I'd scratch the cast, thinking it might get me.
It was like a bone itch where you can't get to it, but it itches, but you don't know exactly where.
Boy, we had some times. We really did. It was a lot of fun times.
Great times.
We got a few shout outs.
Yeah, we do. We got a few shout outs. We want to say hello to Jeremy Cowan and Kelsey Weaver. And Kelsey, we sure did enjoy seeing you at our event, and hope you're doing good. Janelle Much, and to our friend Chris Randall. Chris, we think about you every day and only wish good things for you. John Stone, who has been kind of under the weather back a while. I hope you're doing okay now, John. And also to Kathy and Kenny O'Brien.
Yeah.
Hope you're feeling better, Kenny, and keep watching our videos.
Yeah. And just want to say,
Hold on. Before you say anything, tell everybody who your favorite football college team is.
mine, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Even though they had that hard loss
Oh, love Alabama.
Yeah, well.
to Tennessee, but
Tennessee just
Yeah, Tennessee just
outplayed them.
outplayed them, but
But anyway, that'll wind this one up, and just want to say, if you know anybody that hasn't subscribed to our channel, please tell them and and spread it around as much as you can. We need all the subscribers we can possibly get, you know, so we can continue on. And just remember what we always say, Elvis
fans matter.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.